All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still The Press, coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. And now we've been joined by a guest. His name is Habib Gajo, and together we shall be taking a look at the headlines we read out to you earlier. And this is also a reminder that our phone lines are open for you to call and join the conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, Mr. Gajo.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right, without wasting much time, let's take a look at some of the headlines we have on our national dailies. And I'll begin with the Nigerian Tribune this morning. The boldest headline on Nigerian Tribune says 87,209,000 PVCs collected, and that's according to INEC. Now let's take into consideration the number of people that actually registered for voting this period. It's not even up to half of the Nigerian population, and we have all been clamoring for change and we want something new. Now tomorrow is the general elections, the presidential elections.
Yes.
At this point, do you think we're ready? And what are your thoughts on the number of people that actually collected their PVCs out of the less than 50% that actually registered? Now, that means we have over 6 billion PVCs outstanding.
Yeah, almost 93,000...
93 million?
93 million eligible voters, according to the INEC data. And now the PVC collected is 87 million.
Yes.
That shows like 40% of Nigerian eligible voters. I would not call them Nigerians, eligible voters, because when you obtain the card, you have become an eligible voter. So eligible voter is the one that will go and cast his vote. And if you look at in some states, there is a highest number of collection of PVC, and there is state of lower collection of PVC. So that shows you that there is swing states, there is undecided. This time around we'll have undecided voters. Normally the swing states most of them are traditional voters of their own political parties. Whether they have a good candidate or they don't have a good candidate, they will vote for their party. Nothing will change that. But the undecided voters are the ones that will look at who is the best candidate, who has Nigerians at heart, who really care about the ordinary man on the street, who care about we don't have light. We used to have ASU strikes, we used to have labor strikes, inflation rate, high cost of commodities, fuel scarcities, and so on. Those are for undecided voters. So if you look at Lagos, Kano, Bauchi, and Anambra State, were the highest collection of PVCs. If you look at like Oshun and which state, some few states, I know Oshun is part of low collection of PVC. So that shows you that Oyo state, including Oshun, Oyo, and one state like that, they have low collection of PVC. So definitely this election will be decided by undecided voters, because up till now campaign has closed. Nobody will campaign for any candidate, but those undecided voters are still there analyzing and weighing the candidate, who to vote, who to support, and who to go with. Okay.
One thing I noticed the most in this 2023 election that is coming up is the fact that a lot more persons were deciding for a very long time. People didn't just align and say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Do you think it's because we have lots of options, like 18 candidates in the race, And yet again, do you also see it like Nigerians are now transiting from just being for a party to looking out for the best of the best, looking out for someone who has the capacity to do what they expect them to do?
Yeah, 2023 election is not going to be a business as usual or any other election that happened in Nigeria at past. This is an election that will determine the fate of our democracy. Before we used to call it nascent democracy. Now it has been consolidated. So definitely this is like I'll put it in a way that people will understand that this election will define who are Nigerians. If you vote for a candidate who has capacity, who is intelligent, who can do the work, and who is determined and who has passion for his people and patriotic Nigerian. And if rather than voting for people with selfish interests, people that just want to be president for themselves or for their people, for their selfish interests and so on, or some will say it's because of my party must be in power.
And some will probably say my religion, my region.
Yes, I think it has gone beyond that. Okay. Now people are looking for a way out. Okay. We are talking about how can we globalize this our economy that is battered this year's, and we look at a capable leader who is competent, who has a human relation, who will bring back the glory of Nigeria as a giant of Africa, who will now bring back the glory of Africa in the international communities. You understand? So that we will start having good relationship with international communities. We will now start having investors who will come and invest in our economy, and we too will go and invest in their country and bring back the proceed from their country to our own country. That's the benefit. You know, if you notice, we used to have we used to have presidents that are visiting Nigeria. From 1999, you can mention a lot of presidents that come to Nigeria. But in a recent time, from 2015 to when I think it's only German Chancellor that visited Nigeria based on economic and bilateral relation. Most of them used to come, it's only African countries who come maybe for African meeting or for ECOWAS or something like that, or Independence Day and so on. Or like the time that we have people like Jimmy Carter's coming, Bill Clinton, Bush, and so on, you know. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and so on, all this France Prime Minister, and so, all of them are coming to Nigeria. So these are the candidates that Nigeria need to look at. Who are they? Where are they? You understand?
Yes.
To bring them so that to improve our economy and consolidate our democracy, so that will be a very good we'll have a constitutional democracy in Nigeria, where our right, me and you, can reflect in our own constitution.
Of course. So now, in this sense, now that we have to look beyond sentiments, like our guest said yesterday, said election speaks to data, not sentiments.
Yes.
So at this point, do you think that, especially because each candidate has to probably win up to 24, the winner has to, the criteria for winning is you have to win up to 24 states, including the FCT. Do you think that each of these candidates have done their jobs well when it comes to most of the regions that needs to be considered?
Yeah, most of them have done very well, more especially the front runners campaign is over, I cannot mention political party
Definitely,
or a candidate. But the front runners, the 4 front runners has gone around Nigeria and they have campaigned. They have read out their manifestos and what they are going to do and what they are not going to do different from this government. They all did that.
Sorry to cut you. Do you know the reason why I asked this question? Because if you look at most of the campaigns, if you watch most of the clips of the campaigns, you'll find out that there are always crowds for every candidate. Always crowds for every candidate. It's looking like you can't even predict this election at all.
Yeah, it wasn't an issue-based campaign. The Nigerian media tried to put something that will reflect the issue-based campaign by inviting the candidate for a conversation or a debate, whether you call it a debate or a conversation or interaction. You understand? But some candidate will appear here, they will not appear there. And there is a candidate that did not even appear even for once. Some candidate has not even appeared for once. You understand?
Very well.
Even in the major parties, the front runners, some candidates skip because they don't want to be engaged in an issue-based campaign because they don't have what it takes to be a president of Nigeria.
You think it's about that?
Of course, yes. Because if I want to marry a woman, I have to go and present myself to my in-laws. I said, this is what am I. I have a job, I have a house, I manage my life, I do this, I do that.
But our sitting president too probably didn't, do most of that as well.
No, the sitting president has participated in several debates. It's only 2015 he refused. Because
that was when he was also coming in, right?
Yes, but he has already sold himself before the 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
You understand?
Very well.
So people knew who is Buhari, what is he coming to do. There is no different. Those who predicted what he's coming to do, they predicted it right.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
Then the issue of ethnicity and religious playing a major role in this, we have seen it in the campaign. And if you look at from the data of INEC, the collection of PVCs and the number of eligible voters in those states, I will give you example of 3 major states or 4 major states which are critical in those 3 front runners. 4 front runners. One is Lagos, followed by Kano, followed by Bauchi, followed by Anambra State. So look at the 2 candidates. One candidate is coming from Lagos, one candidate is coming from Kano, one candidate is coming from Anambra, one candidate is coming from the Northeast.
Of course.
So definitely you see how it shows that ethnicity and religion will definitely play. From what we are hearing from our imams and pastors, they are not helping matters. You understand?
Yeah.
They bent on that religious and something.
Those statements is beginning to make us look like we're more divided than we thought.
Yes, because the government has brought that platform.
Yeah.
Had it been the APC government, Buhari government, let me not call the party because it's not campaign. Had it been Buhari government, has been fair to Nigerians, has been just to Nigerians, has accepted the whole Nigerians as one Nigeria and the people of Nigeria. You understand?
Yeah.
The equity in sharing of the government offices and positions. All this crisis.
That's like accusing the government of nepotism.
Yes, because definitely, of course, yes, because when Buhari became president, even before he was sworn in, he said people that gave me 95% vote, 94% vote, and those who give me 4% will not be equal in my government. That's where the problems start.
Yes.
And if they put your name in a position, they'll say, no, his people has not voted, or they have not voted us, or they are not supporting us. It's not about supporting us. But it's about Nigeria.
You know, he said it's for everybody and it's for nobody.
Yeah.
So I don't think that we should bring that up if he says that.
You know, that's when he was being inaugurated as president during the swearing in. We now start hearing this rhetoric of for nobody and for everybody. You understand?
Yes.
Just to correct the
maybe a misconception.
Yes.
Now, okay, let's talk about the security situation in the country against tomorrow. Now, the military, all armed forces are ready. And this headline this morning from Nigerian Tribune is saying, we will use maximum force against troublemakers. And this is also in relation to President Muhammadu Buhari's latest speech, where he said that he's going to make sure he leaves a legacy of free, fair, and credible elections.
Yes. Continue.
He said he has to. So he said he's going to leave a legacy of free, fair, and credible elections. Now, all the military forces are ready. All the armed forces are ready. So now, how do you see these particular elections turning out? Because I know that from the beginning, we have seen traces of violence leading to this election. Do you think that, how do you see this is going to turn out tomorrow?
So, historically, let me start from how it will come tomorrow. Tomorrow is the D-Day.
Yes.
Of course.
And the security forces are ready, INEC are ready, and Nigerians are ready to vote. You understand? We have seen the deployment of police, special forces, well-trained police, and riot police. We have seen them, like FCT got almost 17,000 police officers. I think Anambra has 23. Some states have up to 30, 40,000 police officers. So when you combine them with the military and the army forces in general, definitely it will quell any attempt of any violence that will occur, because these people are ready and they are everywhere in strategic places, and they are going to look after the INEC facilities and the ballot box and the people who are queuing to vote. If you don't have PVC, you have no business in going to the polling unit or going to queue, because you are not an eligible voter.
True.
I think the police and the FCT has done, police and the army forces have done very well in this aspect. I heard from the Inspector General of Police, who is determined to handle any situation that may arise. And we heard from the Chief of Defense Staff, who is also said they are going to defend the Nigerian democracy at all cost. I think that's a heavy one. We really appreciate that.
Okay.
Anything that will defend the democracy in Nigeria, I think we will embrace it and welcome it with a good heart.
Still speaking on democracy and speculations, now let's take a look at Rivers State. Rivers State is among the states with the highest number of collected PVCs. And we know the stand of the governor of Rivers State throughout this electioneering and campaigning period. But in a recent statement, he said that people of Rivers State know who to vote. And on the figures here says over 3 million people in Rivers State collected their PVC, and is ranking among the highest number states that collected PVCs in large numbers this period. Did you expect that to happen?
Yeah, I will not go to that political angle.
Okay.
Because you know, I've told you campaign has closed.
Yes, obviously.
But definitely River State is among the swing states. We call them swing states. So definitely vote will come out from that place. But with the highest level of violence, you will not expect people to come out. Definitely there will be a voter apathy in River State because of this insecurity and political thuggery and so on and so forth. We have seen it during the campaign, the way they are vandalizing posters of other political parties. We have witnessed killings, maiming and injuries for other opponents of the political parties. So definitely, if and in a previous election, I think in 2015, I think that election has to be shifted because of the level of violence. People are being killed. It was bloody election, and this in 2019 it still happened, but not as bloody as 2015, because the result of River State was held for almost 4 days, if you could remember. So these are the situation with River State. You can't base your election or your politics on violence. It's undemocratic.
Sure.
It's unconstitutional. You have to be a law-abiding citizen in order to cast your vote peacefully. If you look at, let me go to what Anthony Blinken and the Secretary of State of United States of America and British Prime Minister and so on and so forth, those who all were pleading with Nigeria to go and vote peacefully and safely. That's the defense of democracy. So if you cannot, I could remember, if you reflect back 2015, the same when River State was having those issues with killings, Tony Blair and Bill Clinton came out openly and advised the Rivers people. Even the ambassador of the United States of America advised the River people to go and vote peacefully to stop killings. You understand?
Of course.
It's not about killings. It's about tampering. And that to tamperate your political party, it is not difficult.
All right. So do you think that these killings and and all of these issues here and there is going to affect some other locations, looking at Imo State and probably Enugu now?
Definitely, because in Imo State, I learned that the COP members that were posted, they said they cannot go to some certain local government.
Yes.
Definitely it will affect. And that's disenfranchisement. You see, so it is the people of that local government created those problems. You can't be killing people. Look at what is happening in Enugu. It's so unfortunate, so pathetic, so disheartening. I really don't understand. How can you kill a candidate because he is aspiring? Even if you leave him, you will still win. You understand?
Yeah.
And if you are going to lose, if your people don't like you, you will still lose.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Definitely, because the people that are supporting him, when you kill him, definitely they will go and vote for another one. They will still not vote you.
Sure.
You understand? From 1999 to date, if you match the killings of candidates in Nigeria, is terrible.
All right.
It started in Lagos, Funsho Williams, in Ikiti, what is name, Dayo, it's scattered everywhere.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Would have loved you to actually use a few seconds to just advise viewers for tomorrow.
My advice to Nigerians and the young people, because the young people are the ones that have been used for political thuggery and violence. Please, they should shun violence. They should show sportsmanship, like the candidates show sportsmanship. All what you need, take your ballot, your PVC, go to your polling unit, go and vote, go back to your house, and wait for result.
Okay.
Anybody, you will hear who will win, who wins and who lose when they declare the result.
All right. Thank you so much for your advice, and I hope Nigerians to take that advice. Till we see you tomorrow. I am Sandra Ago. Thank you so much for watching.
And I am Olamide Alhassan. See you at the polling unit. Bye for now.